So were you remote before all this hit?
No, so we were in the office. They were pretty relaxed about your schedule as long as if you had meetings, you were there. So some people went in at 7 or 8 in the morning and got off earlier. Some people 9 or 10 and got off later. And then I think when all the stuff started to happen, maybe 2 weeks before we actually went on full lockdown, where I was saying we could only go to the pharmacy and the grocery store. They started giving out laptops and saying, okay, go home and test your internet, make sure you can connect to the VPN just in case. We just want to be prepared. And then it was like, next week we're going to try and work remotely and just make sure everyone's okay and just do like a full run through and make sure there's no problems. And then at the end of that, I think it was the end of the first week of working remote, they announced that we were going on lockdown. So we were like just in time, had gotten everything figured out.
Yeah. How do you feel about working remote?
I like it. I think probably not for everyone. It's like really, if you get distracted easily, it's like probably very difficult. Um, for me, I don't like to stop working until I finish something. So it's easy with software because you're like never done. It's easy to work the whole day, and it goes by pretty quick. Um, I like having like a fresh hot lunch. I know that's probably not a big deal for a lot of people, but being able to like not warm up a Tupperware every day is awesome. Um, and you just kind of have the flexibility that if we are going for a long weekend to Portugal or to wherever on a Friday, for example, I could work somewhere else. Um, so it definitely gives you a ton of flexibility, and I think it also opens up, where you can actually work. So if I wanted to get a remote job based out of the US, I could do that now because I know that I can work remotely and it's something I'm comfortable with. So I think overall it's awesome. And then obviously with something like COVID happening, it's a really good way to have a job and not have to go anywhere or worry about whatever building you're working in closing down and not having a job. So I think that's being in software, that's a huge advantage that none of us were working remotely, and it's something that we had to kind of flex to be able to keep working. And it just made it super easy transition. Nobody had to get let go, any of that stuff. So we were all able to continue working and pretty much work the exact same way that we were working, just not in the office. So I love it personally. I love working remotely.
What would you say are some good tips for that work-life balance for especially working at home?
I think having a schedule is super important, and I think maybe that's more important if you're doing like freelancing stuff, because it's easy to work way more than even we work 8 hours a day, a normal shift, and I'll find if I'm stuck on something or if I'm really rolling, it's easy to keep going. So you'll work 10 or 11 hours in one day and not even realize it. But if you really just say, okay, I'm going to work until this time, and then after this time, that's it. No matter where I am, I'm going to stop. I think that's super important because there's no one to tell you to stop. You could work 24 hours a day if you wanted. So I think giving yourself limits is super important.
Yeah, that's great. We also talk a little bit about creating a space that, at least for me, when I start, I know that when I'm sitting at this desk is when I'm working, and when I'm not sitting at this desk is when I'm not working. Is
Sure.
is helpful for me. I have two small kids, so it is helpful for them to know when mom's working.
Sure. Yeah, I would imagine that doesn't make it any easier.
No, but location definitely, like setting that up has been really helpful for us.
Yeah, that's good.